in front, being challenged by Climate Control going up his inside, and it bumped badly by Climate Control, and both of them are out of contention. And now it's suddenly number 2 World Class left clear from 1 Priceless Rebel in second and 6 Magical Captain in third, heading to the third bend, and it's World Class by 3 lengths. 14-1 he was in the betting, and 12-1 the one that's in second. It's World Class on the final bend. Here comes Priceless Rebel with a big challenge, but it's World Class pulling out more, and World Class goes on to win the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes.
Yes, World Class there, living up to his name in last year's final of the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes, and what's more, he's back to defend his title in under an hour from now. Good evening to you and welcome to Shelbourne Park for more live greyhound racing, featuring, as I say, the final of the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes, one of the great greyhound events of the summer season. And of course, we have an awful lot more for you as well, lots and lots of races to look forward to. And this Boyle Sports Champion Stakes, it's a unique event in a way, in that 18 greyhounds get to enter at the semi-final stages, and only the top 2, winner and runner-up, are guaranteed a place in tonight's final. It's an important time in the season as well in greyhound racing, with the Derby just around the corner. The draw for that is being made on Monday week next, and the final, well, it's just 7 weeks away, and we'll have it live for you here on Network 2. But our attention right now is on the night's racing here at Shelbourne Park, and we've got 3 live races to look forward to. All of them are over 550 yards. First one up in a couple of minutes' time. And then we have the Consolation Stakes, good prize money there at 9:20. Some of the dogs who didn't quite make it into the final itself. The big one then is at 22:10, not to be missed, the Champion Stakes, Boyle Sports Champion Stakes for 2004. Now, ordinarily we'd be saying there are 6 dogs in the final, should be, but unfortunately Velvet Commander has had to withdraw. He was a winner of the 3rd semi-final last Saturday night, but has suffered a wrist injury and cannot now take his place in the final. So it's a final, Ian Fortune, with just 5 dogs competing. And people around the country will wonder about the regulation here. Was there any way a reserve dog could have been promoted to make it a 6-dog final?
No, there was a rule brought in a few years ago. It was before we changed euro to pounds. It was brought in basically to stop, in a sense, skullduggery. I'm not saying it ever happened, but it could have happened. When you're talking so much money involved, like tonight winner, €40,000. Let's say the dog is out, and let's say sometimes you could have an outsider, maybe a dog could come in instead of the outsider, things like that. It's just prevented. It came in about 2 or 3 years ago. It's a rule that if a competition is worth more than £5,000 to the winner, €6,350, if it's worth more than that, no reserves can come in. It just basically stops sort of a situation where one of the fancy dogs, if he'd been knocked out, could get back in through a loophole or a slip. Basically, if you qualify, you deserve to be there. You don't deserve to be there.
The only slight little change there would be at the beginning of the Derby in the first round, if a dog can't get into traps at the very first round, they do allow a reserve at that stage, but that's the only one, I think. What about the finalists tonight? What do you think?
I think it's a wide open final. It's an absolutely terrific final. The fact that Velvet Commander's out, of course, to take a slight gloss off it, but it really is a fantastic final. All 5 greyhounds have massive chances. There you see the betting. It's a wide open race. Tom Shea Boy, currently the 7-4 favourite. I think he'll go off a bit shorter than that. One dog there, number 4 Disguise. He's 11-2 on that caption. Teddy Hegarty won't be going that price. He told me earlier on he'll be going about 5-1, and I'd say that 5-1 will be snapped up. Boyle Sports, the sponsors, actually laid 12,000-2 today, €2,000 at 6-1. He went at 9-2 with them, while Paddy Power also laid him. They laid 6,001 and 4,500, so plenty of money for what would have been the big outsider Disguised. Tonight I think Smiling Man will go out the outsider, but I think he is a big chance.
Okay, Ian, thank you very much indeed for that. We saw the betting there. Never Give Up is in 2, and I know one of the bookmakers who stands to lose an awful lot of money tonight, as in about 15,000, if that particular dog prevails in the final at 20-10. We'll find out very shortly. Right now, let's get down to business. This is the 5th race on the card. It's the Boyle Sports 550 yards, and our commentator leading us into it is Michael Fortune. Michael?
Yes, the runners now, as you see, parading down, or walking down, shall we say, to the 550 yards traps. And quite a very interesting race here, because number 1, Droopy's Cahill. This is a greyhound, one of the leading fancies for the forthcoming Paddy Power Irish Derby here in just 2 weeks' time. Droopy's Cahill, the winner of the invitation, William Hill Invitation at White City, my God, in the memory, at Wimbledon on the night of the English Derby final. In effect, the English Consolation Derby. He won that one, Droopy's Cahill, a brilliant greyhound. As we see number 3 there, Farlow's Acting, put in by his trainer, Stephen Burke. Next in is Blackstone Woody. Owen McKenna trains this one. On the far side, you see Droopy's Cahill, Ian Riley trained runner, the favourite for this one. Number 2, Dunsany, trained by Francie Murray. a dog that has good form all around the country. Number 4, Enlightened View, just going in there. Mick Curley O'Donovan putting him in. A dog with 28.50 around Thurles, a real fast dog. And on the outside in 6, Zigzag Stewart, trained by Dolores Root. Dolores is here tonight following her injury. The bell goes. The Boyle Sports 550. In trap 1 here is Droopy's Cahill, the favourite. 2, Dunsany. 3 is Farlow Zack. 4, Enlightened View. 5, Blackstone Woody. And on the outside in 6, we have Zigzag Stewart. It's 5-4 on. Number 1. That's Droopy's Cahill, the hair behind chaps, and Droopy's out flying and leading up with number 5 going up past Blackstone Woody. But it's number 1, Droopy's Cahill, leading into the corner by about a length and a half. From 5 in second place, Blackstone Woody running a big race, moving up the challenge off the second bend. They've gone 5 lengths clear. Number 4, Enlightened View back in third. And 5, Blackstone Woody is putting it up to number 1, Droopy's Cahill. Into the third bend, Droopy's holding his position on the inside. Blackstone is running hard on the outside. In behind, it's 4 and 2, but off the last bend, it's Blackstone Woody. Hits the run. Here comes Enlightened View in a big run. But it's number 5, Blackstone Woody wins it. 4, Enlightened View is second, and 1, Droopy's Cahill fades away disappointingly there in third. The time 30:09. Well, this is a night for the bookmakers here. They've had some mighty results already. And watch this, number 5, Blackstone Woody out fast, but number 1, Droopy's Cahill was faster, leading up on the inside. And, well, this will change slightly. The odds will vary after this result, because 1, Droopy's Cahill has every chance here, leading by a length and a half around the corner. From 5 in second place, Blackstone Woody. Number 3, Farlow Zack was in trouble at the corner. Watch in behind. Watch number 4, Enlightened View. This is a very promising run from this fella. But down the far side, it's neck and neck between 1, Droopy's Cahill, and 5, Blackstone Woody. In behind you can't see, but in number 4, Enlightened View is beginning to motor. But at this point, it's here where 5 really takes over Blackstone Woody. Moves on from 1, Droopy's Cahill. He checks wide. And 5, Blackstone Woody, owned by Pat Sinnott, trained by Owen McKenna, races on strongly. A big run in second from Enlightened View, but he can't get to Blackstone Woody at this stage. He wins nicely from 4, Enlightened View in second. Coming off that final round, you just missed that incident between 5 and 1. 5 cut off 1 at that point, but he showed the greater determination, the greater pace at that stage, and coming home, Enlightened View running on strongly. He didn't get the best of starts there, but a very interesting contest, and an interesting winner too in 5, Blackstone Woody, owned by Pat Sinnott, trained by Owen McKenna, at 8-1, another one for the bookies. Second, number 4, Enlightened View at 4-1, and third, the disappointing favourite, Droopy's Cahill, 5-4 on, the time 30:09.
And the bookies are happy. They certainly are. I'm sure they've been happy in Galway as well. I hope you are, wherever you're enjoying your weekend, this particular August bank holiday weekend. If you've been in Galway enjoying the racing in Ballybrit, well, I'm sure you've many, many memories, good and otherwise. Hope they're mostly good. Mind you, it's not just horse racing in Ballybrit. There have been a lot of very good races going on as well in the Galway Greyhound track. Lots of exciting races there. A good festival of racing during the week. And here with this report is Tracey Piggot.
Action-packed week at the College Road Greyhound Stadium with over €70,000 in prize money, as well as the best in food, drink and crack on offer. Spectators were treated to some thrilling racing action provided by some top-class greyhounds. The Red Mills Galway Plate took place on Wednesday evening, ending in a very tight finish, with Moy Cullen Boy just getting beaten on the line by Vickers View Sally for Martin and Diane Campbell. Then on Thursday, we had the Hospitality Catering Open Hurdle, always a big attraction, where Trap 1 Bally Euro surprised both his owners and trainer by crossing the line in front of his kennel companion Top Lark, taking home the winner's prize of €2,000. General Manager of Galway Stadium, Fintan Monaghan, was delighted with the success of the festival.
We've had wonderful weather, we've had marvellous crowds, over €70,000 in sponsorship. We've had 50,000 in trio guarantees, a car to raffle off. We've had a wonderful time, and the finals have just been incredible. Already since we've opened here just over 9 months ago, with the crowds have responded, the Galway people have taken us to their hearts, and now we see that all the people coming in for Ballybrit have come over to us as well. So here's hoping on into the future. Greyhound racing is definitely on the up in Galway.
Now back to the flat racing again. Also on Thursday night, the 2004 Flaherty Markets Corrid Plate came to its conclusion. Commentator George McDonough was there.
The Hare on the move for the final of the Florida Markets Corrupt Plate. 1 Best Every Time. 2 Black Castle Gold. 3 Liz Bryan Rules. In 4, Alvin Nikita. 5 10 Rogue. 6 Tuttle's Chief. They're away. 11 enough break. Well away is Black Castle Gold from 2. Black Castle Gold will lead into the first bend. Behind these, trap 1 goes off the track and causes some interference, but opening up down the far side. Trap 2, Black Castle Gold is out in front by 5 lengths. Chasing in the second place, Trap 1 Best Every Time, and third on the outside, the 4 Alvin Nikita. But in front is Black Castle Gold with Trap 2. Closing in second, Trap 1 Best Every Time. Black Castle Gold, Best Every Time. Flying behind these, Tuttle's Chief. Then in the middle of the track, it's Trap 2, Black Castle Gold. Desperately close. Oh, no, finish the final. Desperately close in Black Castle Gold, the flying Best Every Time, on the inside, 10 Rogues.
We're absolutely delighted. I suppose we're all stunned as well. We only have this dog about 2 months, and tonight now he ran absolutely brilliantly. He got a terrible bump in the first bend and came back very strong, and really it was a fabulous win. He's only about 16 months old, like, so there's a lot more running, a lot more wins, we think, in him. Like, you know, he's impressed us greatly over the heats. Ray advises us about where to put the dog and what races, and he makes the decisions. I think, like, his record here in Galway anyway is second to none, and he proves it again tonight.
Happy scenes in Galway during this week, some happy scenes in Shelbourne Park as well tonight, but most of the joy and happiness appears to be coming from the bookmakers. The big race, of course, here, the Boys Sports Champion Stakes, it's off at 22.10, remember. Big prize money there on offer, €60,000 in all. First prize is 40,000, not half bad. And Tom Sheboy at the moment is the favourite. Right, let's take a look at one of the earlier races. The racing began at Shelbourne Park tonight, as usual, at 8 o'clock. This is the first race then, and it's over 575 yards.
Our opening race here at Shelbourne, the Boyle Sports 575. In 1, Whiteford Rumble. 2, Silky Brindle. 3, Rosemore Robbie. 4, Where I Wonder. In 5, Spectacular. And the hot favourite, Droopy's Romeo, in the striped jacket going from trap 6. Hair behind the bumps is a way to go. Droopy's Romeo takes a bump early on. There's number 4 going up well, Where I Wonder. Number 2 going up well on the inside, Silky Brindle. The favourite has it all to do. He's last at this stage. Oh, he suddenly finds his way through the third place into the back straight. Number 5, Spectacular, has opened up a lead of 6 lengths over number 6, Droopy's Romeo in second, and then comes number 2, Silky Brindle in third. Into the third bend, and 5 is still out clear. 5 lengths up on number 6, Droopy's Romeo. He comes home fast, but he's going to have the sprout wings to get up here. It's number 5 out front, Spectacular. 6 is running on, so is 2 and 3. But number 5 is the winner, Spectacular. 6, Droopy's Romeo second, and 2, Silky Brindle in third. The time, 31.67. Now we see the rerun, and, well, a bit of a bump early on between 5 and 6, and this really caused a bit of problems for the favourite, but not for number 5, Spectacular. 3's O'Sullivan's dog really showed brilliant early pace to the corner, a lot of trouble in behind, and suddenly Spectacular is way out front off the second bend. The favourite, Droopy's Romeo, gets into second with number 2, Silky Brindle, the strong finisher, in third. But out front, Spectacular really striding out impressively, the son of Larkle, Joe and Derry and Millie. It's number 6, Droopy's Romeo second, 2, Silky Brindle third, 3, Rosemore Robbie showed fine pace at this stage, but none of them ever looked like getting to number 5, Spectacular. He galloped on strongly all the way to win this one. Very close for second in the end, with 6 holding on there. Droopy's Romeo for second, but Spectacular living up to his name at 6-1. Second was number 6, Droopy's Romeo, the 5-4 on favourite, and third, number 2, Silky Brindle, at 6-1. The time, 31.67.
I think you'll agree that was a very, very impressive performance by Spectacular. That's 4 wins out of 5 now for him, and that was his debut race here at Shelbourne Park. I'm quite certain we'll be seeing a lot more of Spectacular around this particular track. Well, it's a big night's racing here. Lots and lots of important people from the industry are here. Among them, one of the top trainers in the country, Paul Hennessy. He's been talking with Tracey Piggot.
Well, this man beside me is always a useful man to meet at a greyhound track, because he always has plenty of winners. Paul Hennessy, of course. Paul, and you've won the Trainers' Championship again. That finishes up next week, so things are going really well, as usual.
Not too bad, winners-wise, Tracy. We're still clocking up the winners, thank you very much. We haven't been maybe just hitting the real high spots that we were hitting last year or the year before, but the Derby starts in a fortnight's time, and all the better dogs we have will be geared towards that. So you never know, there's plenty of time, plenty of action to happen, you know.
That's going to be really exciting. Now, I know you haven't got one in the big one tonight, but you do have one in the consolation final in Vesuvius. How do you think you'll get on?
She'll run well. I expect her to run a big race, and especially now number 2, Tapo, it doesn't run. That will give her an extra bit of room. She won the Puppy Oaks for us here earlier in the year, and she's, as Puppy would suggest, she's very young, but she has no regard for opposition. She'll take them on. She's very, tough in her style of racing, and I expect her to run a big race. It's a good race, mind.
I suppose it's a big one as well. What's your view on it? It's very competitive, isn't it?
It is, yeah. There'll be plenty of room now with the 3 dog, unfortunately, for the connections and on-runner. That's a big disappointment because he's a dog that looked tremendous young dog, I suppose, but he has a big future. But the 1 dog world class last year's winner is back in trap 1. That's his best box. He'll run a big race.
Pat Buckley's flying.
He is. They're running great for him. He's having a great year. The 6 dog, Tom Sheboy, drawn to perfection in 6. But if I was having 50p on something, I'd go for value. I'd have it on number 4, Disguised.
On number 4, Disguise, yeah?
Yeah, he's a really strong all-rounder. Has good early, great middle pace, and has a real good draw in my opinion. And a value for money, maybe something like that. You know what I mean? He may be worth a few quid each way.
Well, when I met you on the dual carriageway this evening coming out, you had that big grin on your face because of Kilkenny winning today. Not a pretty match, but still a win. A win's a win, as you say.
Oh yeah, well, there's never anything pretty when you're playing tough games like Clare. I mean, they're an extremely difficult team to beat. Always have been. There's a huge history with Kilkenny and Clare going back over years. There's never any much between them 3 or 4 points. And today, okay, we started brilliantly. With a bit of more luck, we would have maybe had the game gone beyond reach at half time. But we're there, we're still there. It's a great season. I mean, for the spectators' point of view, we're having a great time. I really hope the hurlers get as much enjoyment out of it because they're a brilliant team. We've been in Croke Park every year for the last 6 or 7 years with this team, and there's no other county in Ireland has that pleasure, you know what I mean? And they're a brilliant bunch of players, and they deserve all the praise they can get. I mean, we've had some spin out of them as spectators,
Yeah, no, there's great passion in that game. But I think you and I are going to be at loggerheads next week because I'm a Waterford supporter.
Oh, God love you.
You can't say that.
The dust.
But before, I love this gear now. This is a new thing. I'm going to have to get one of these T-shirts.
Yeah, we'll give you one for the match next Sunday, Tracy, Sunday week.
With the blue and white flag.
When you've got it flaunted, you should know about that.
Well, thanks a million. Always entertaining. Thanks a million.
Tracy, thank you.
Yes, the ever sartorially elegant Paul Hennessy there, and Kilkenny supporter to boot, talking with Tracy. We promised you lots of racing. Let's go back and look at the 4th race on the card. This is the Boys Sports 2880. It's over 525 yards.
Our 4th race, the Boyle Sports 2880. In 1, Oran Rainbow. 2 is Share Magic. 3, Whitefort Spud. 4 is He Said So. 5, Positive Option. And 6, Power Buster. The joint favourites, numbers 1 and 5. Air coming up behind traps. Will 5 take a flyer? He's out fast, but 4 is out faster. He Said So leading up from 5, Positive Option in 2nd. Oh, bump in behind between 1 and 3, and they're out of it. And number 5, Positive Option, goes clear on the 2nd bend. He's 3 in front from number 4, He Said So in 2nd place. Then 2, Share Magic. This one will be flying home. Number 5, Positive Option in front, but 4 is closing. 5 is limited on stamina. Coming off the final bend, and number 4 comes up to head 5, but here's number 2 in behind. As they come up the straight, it's number 2, Share Magic. Takes it up close out to win it from 4, He Said So in 2nd. It's close for 3rd. The time 28.96. And the rerun, as we see number 4, He Said So out fast in the middle. Number 5 didn't get its normal start, Positive Option. Watch numbers 1 and 3, Oran Rainbow and Whitefort Spud. They're collide on the corner, and a lot of bumping there. They're totally out of race. Number 6, Power Buster, also badly affected, and into the back straight. It's a Positive Option up front. This fella did a big run over 4:10 last time, but he hasn't got a sufficient lead at this stage. Over 4, He Said So in 2nd, and meanwhile back in 3rd, Share Magic is really a powerful finisher, recently bought by a syndicate, and she at this stage already she's looking a likely winner. Out of the picture here at the moment is 4, He Said So, takes it up on the final bend, but look at number 2, Share Magic, a flying finisher this one. She storms up the straight, takes over here coming towards the line, and wins it impressively from He Said So in 2nd. It's mighty close for 3rd. Number 5 just holding on for that 3rd spot. And there we see into the corner again. We'll get another view of this bumping match on the bend. There's numbers 4 and 5 going into the bend there, and number 4 actually got involved as well. He got clipped at that spot as well. Numbers 1, 3 and 6, well, that put them totally out of the race, and suddenly number 2 Ger Magic, that was last at that stage, is left in third spot. And here we see Ger Magic up the straight, his daughter Rowan Oakey and Moldfield Nikita, owned by the Bindare in Air Square Syndicate, winning it from number 4 He Said So. And the result of the fourth race, the winner number 2 Ger Magic at 7-1, second number 4 He Said So at 6-1, and third number 5 Positive Option, the 9-4 joint favourite, the time 28.96.
That has to go down surely as one of the top performances of the night so far. Well, we're going to look ahead now to the consolation stakes, and Ian is with me once again. Now, Legal Moment, first of all, the Oaks winner from 2 weeks ago isn't in it. The owners want to keep him fresh. There's an omission as well from this. It's a 5-dog final here.
Well, a different situation to the last one. Velvet Commando was a non-runner during the week. Topo, one of those silly things, they forgot their ID card, and if you don't bring the ID card, you can't run the dog. That's the way it is.
Every dog has an ID card.
Oh, absolutely. You have to present the dog for weigh-in every night, and if you don't have your ID card that match the ear number to the number on the card, well then, that's it, I'm afraid you're out.
So when the dogs arrive here, they check in around about 7:15 and so on?
Weigh-in starts at 7:15, take about 10-15 minutes to get all the dogs done, and just check off all the dogs, make sure their weight doesn't vary and whatever, and just make sure all the dogs are here and accounted for. Oh, there you see the betting on the consolation fund. That's the next one coming up. Maycall is the 6-4 favourite, solid in the betting market. Missed the break the last couple of times, but expected to get back to winning ways here. I fancy him. Trap 6 at Geldrop Touch, 9-4. Not my own personal fancy. I think Awesome Impact, a big price there at 5-1. Vesuvius subject to strong support at 4-1, the outsider. Trap number 5, Jimmy McJack at 10s, but I think Maycall is going to beat Awesome Impact.
Okay, thanks Ian. Right, there's €2,000 going to the winner in this. These are the dogs who were 3rd and 4th in the semi-finals last Saturday. Let's see how they get on in the consolation stakes with Michael Fortune.
Yes, the runner's been put in traps for this 6th race, and I must say I disagree totally with the regulations about the identity card. There's enough technology around nowadays to be able to monitor a dog's markings without having to wait for the card. It's in the Stone Age in that regard. The bell goes. Our 6th race, the consolation final of the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes. In 1, Vesuvius. Trap 2 vacant because of that stupid rule. In 3 is Awesome Impact. 4, Make All. 5, Jamie McJack. And 6 is Geldrop's Touch. The favourite goes from 4, Make All. The hare's coming up behind Traps, and away they go. Oh, there's a bumping match at the start as number 5 moves in. Jamie McMacken at 6, Geldrop's Touch. Storms to the front into the bend. From in 2nd place now, number 1, Vesuvius moves into 2nd. This could be interesting because she flies home. But out front is Geldrop's Touch, the Produce Stakes winner. He's 4 lengths in front. Number 1 Vesuvius beginning to motor in 2nd. She'll fly home from here. 6 Geldrop Touch in front. Vesuvius appears to stumble slightly there, but she's closing all the way. It's 6 Vesuvius, or 6 Geldrop Touch holding on from Vesuvius. He has held her run and going on to win in style. That's Geldrop Touch doing a big run there and winning this one from 1 Vesuvius in 2nd. 3 Awesome Impact was also running on strongly. The time is 29.89. Well, this one, look at it again. Much number 5 going in, 3 goes out, and suddenly number 4, Make All, is the meat in the sandwich. And this gives Geldrop's Touch. He was away quite well, and suddenly his pace carries him to the front. He gets the clear run to the bend and scoots clear on the way up. It's close into 2nd between 1, 4 and 5 on the bend here. Number 1, Vesuvius, slips around in 2nd. She normally produces a huge finish. She got close enough to the 3rd bend, but could find no more. But meanwhile, out front, Geldrop's Touch is dug home by Pierre Browett, trained by Owen McKenna. What is he, 3.5 in front here? But Vesuvius, she appears just to stumble slightly there and didn't really run on strongly after that. Certainly not as strongly as we know her. Number 3, Awesome Impact, the flying finisher. He's back in 3rd now, coming on strongly to pass Make All coming home. But it's number 6, Geldrop's Touch out in front, and he takes it. So Geldrop's Touch, once he got clear on the run to the bend, well, really that was it. Vesuvius was never going to be caught for 2nd. It was a case, could she catch the one in front? But not on this occasion. Number 6, the winner here. That's Geldrop's Touch. So the Produce Stakes winner moves on. He'll be, well, we won't be too big in the betting on the Derby, which closes, of course, on Monday week here at Shelbourne. The draw, the first round, will be on Thursday week. The winner of this consolation champion stakes, the winner, number 6, Geldrop's Touch at 5-2. 2nd, number 1, Vesuvius at 4-1. 3rd, number 3, Awesome Impact at 5-1. The time, 29.89.
Yes, the Belgian connections will be very, very pleased indeed, and €2,000 richer after that consolation stakes final. Well, we'll have the final of the Boyle Sport Champion Stakes itself in about 15 minutes from now. Just 5 dogs, as we know, in the final, but lots and lots of quality. It's a huge night out here in Shelbourne Park. Thankfully, it's a lovely night here in Dublin. Hope it's as nice wherever you are. And this, of course, greyhound racing is an enormously big industry, very well supported right around the country. Lots and lots of people working in the industry. And we've got one person coming up now who's making her mark. She's talking with Tracy.
One of the most popular restaurants in Dublin for over 20 years now is Dobbin's, and they've just taken over the catering here at Shelbourne Park in the last month. Joining me now is MD of Dobbin's, that's Patrick Walsh. Patrick, how different is it serving a crowd here at the Greyhound Stadium than actually at a restaurant?
I suppose it's not too different, but it's on a vaster scale, and I must say the time scale it's quicker, and it has to be really tuned into certain people between a specific time, so that he can enjoy the rest of the activities here, particularly the greyhound racing as such. But it's it's going well so far.
How would you go about choosing the menu for such a large amount of people?
I suppose it's probably down to what works from the kitchen perspective, and we always try to, whatever works we do. There's no point doing something that doesn't work, and particularly when you have such large numbers and in so many different areas. So you have 3 different kind of rooms here. You have a restaurant, you have a suite facilities, and then you have a bistro style downstairs. So it's 3 different menus we're in one, and they seem to have blended in well.
The standard of food at Greyhound tracks has risen so much, and it's very, very competitive. Obviously quite a big pressure.
It is, and that's why Dobbin's has a name to, and kind of we keep it at the level we hope we can maintain, and no matter where you are serving food or giving the service, it has to be at the highest level nowadays.
I know you also do the Harold's Cross and you also do the Curragh race course. What made you decide to go into this area?
I suppose a long time ago we got into the outdoor catering business, and it just stemmed from there. We've done a charity event originally, and it says, God, this is it's good business, and we're in the restaurant trade for a long enough time, so we felt we could do a good job and bring a little better quality and a little of Dobbin's style to somewhere else. And when it seemed it worked so well, we said we'd give it a go.
Well, talking of style, nobody had more style, I don't think, than, of course, John O'Byrne, who we lost last year, the founder of Dobbin's. I'm sure he's greatly missed.
Greatly missed, and he would love to be here now, because he'd have so much fun, he'd have so much enjoyment, and we worked together for kind of 21 years, and it was a great time, and he is sadly missed, but he's keeping an eye on us. He's helping us to tick and 10, as you say.
I'm sure he is, Patrick. Best of luck with this. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there you are, the lady I was leading to, talking with Tracy. He turned out to be a lovely gentleman. And with Dobbin's, good luck to them and good luck to him indeed. Well, a couple of weeks back when we were here for the Oaks, you may remember, we delved into the archives. I think it was 1979 on that occasion. This time it's a bit more modern. The year is 1991, and the Champion Stakes final, we had it for you that year as well. Does this jog your memory? Have a look.
So just the last of the ones going in. Still, it's 3-1 now, Terry Drumtico. So Artfert Nick certainly going to go off favourite for the Champion Stakes. 6-4, it's Artfert Nick. The bell sounds. Terry Drumtico, 3 parts of a length between them the last time. The hare heading down the far side. The runners 1, Artfert Nick the favourite. 2 is Village Support. 3, the outsider Big Cloud. 4 is Farlow Melody. 5 is Terry Drumtico. And in 6 is Summerhill Super. And away they go, and it's from 5. Terry Drumtico is moving up. Farlow Melody, who's going to lead them into the first turn. Village Support on the inside, but it's Farlow Melody with on the outside Terry Drumtico. Artfert Nick has a bit of running to do, but is making ground in third, and it's in the outside Farlow Melody. Artfert Nick making a great move up into second ahead of Terry Drumtico, but coming round the home turn, it's Farlow Melody from Artfert Nick, putting in a big finish on the far side. Artfert Nick on the far side, just going to win it. Artfert Nick just touches off. Farlow Melody with Village Support in third.
Yes, I wonder if you remember that. 1991 was the year. Des Cahill calling the race there, and the race won by Artfurt Mick. And that Champion Stakes winner, of course, was the last greyhound to go on to win the Derby in the same year. I just wonder whether the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes winner of 2004 can complete a double this year. We'll have to wait and see. Let's look ahead now to the big race of the night, which is the Champion Stakes final. We're going to look at the 3 semi-final, but starting with the first one here. And the dog to keep an eye on here is the favourite at the moment in the betting. That is the winner recently of the International Series in Dundalk. The dog, Tom Shea Boy.
The favourite in 5, Tom Shea Boy. They're here up behind the boxes, and away they go. Tom Shea Boy off to a good start, but it's number 2, Never Give Up. He leads into the corner. He took a flyer. Number 5, Tom Shea Boy in second. Back in third, number 4, Legal Moment. But it's Never Give Up. The Ledger champion leads into the back straight. Number 4, Legal Moment gives chase on the wide outside. Number 5, Tom Shea Boy down the far side. Never Give Up. But here comes number 5, Tom Shea Boy with a powerful surge into the third bend. But it's number 2, Never Give Up. He's going to lead into the home straight. The St. Ledger champion leads from Tom Shea Boy. A gap in third to number 4, Legal Moment. These two are going to qualify. It's Never Give Up. He wins it. Second, number 5, Tom Shea Boy, very close for third. The winning time, a very fast 29.58.
Never Give Up. He won the Champions Stakes in Lifford, playing 3 or 4 outside the block, and then he came on, won the St. Ledger, entered him in the Champions Stakes. Showed bliss on early pace. He's got great early pace. He can stay like a train. He's got a huge chance, I think. He's done everything very right. He's improving the whole time. So he'd be a very serious contender, I think, for it. If he comes out like he did last night, he won't be beat.
These two are going to qualify. It's Never Give Up. He wins it. Second, number 5, Tom Shea Boy.
He came out of the semi-finals very, very well. He's a naturally tough dog, so racing, doesn't affect him at all. He recovers quite quickly. So he's in terrific form. He's a wonderful dog to travel. When we went to the Ledger in Limerick, which is about a 3-hour drive, he would never get up off his bed. He'd lie stretched out, He's a very relaxed dog. We were delighted with the draw because he likes trap 6, and being that there was only 2 there, it was the best of the 2 for us to get trap 6. This is a terrific event, the money for 2 runs, it's 40,000. It's unbelievable, and it's a terrific event, a big event, On its own, it's tops, So it wouldn't be just a trial for the Derby, You have to go for these things, And as you said, there's great dogs in it.
Lovely dog. So there you have it. 2 of the finalists in the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes. Tom Shea Boy is on the outside in 6 tonight in the final, and Never Give Up is in trap number 2. Just inside him is the winner last year, World Class, and of course World Class was in action also last Saturday night. That was in the second semi-final. Here's how he got on.
Here coming up behind traps, and away they go, and World Class, the defending champion, off to a flyer. Enchanting Hero very slowly into stride. He's last to the bend, but it's number 4, World Class, leads round. Number 1, Disguise running wide, slipping through in second, and number 5, Make All, but Disguise challenging in second. Down the far side, it's World Class, but Disguise showing big pace on the outside. Into the third bend, it's World Class and Disguise. Number 5, Make All in third, but out front, Disguise goes to the front. A big shock in the cards here. Make All goes second from number 4, World Class, but it's number 1, Disguise. Another shock winner, Disguise, owned and trained by Reggie Roberts. He wins it. World Class finishes well for second spot. The winning time a superb 29.87.
He won a stake in Mullingar. He ran exceptionally well in Mullingar. He won a final in 29.40. And then he came on to Shelbourne and he won the Joe Dunn Memorial from trap 6. He ran brilliant, but he came off injured, and as a result he was off for quite a while, and then he got the cough, and then he was off for another length of time. So he's just coming back now after, well, at the right time. He's still coming back to himself. Trap 4, it's not really the best. I'd rather he was on the inside like last week. He went up very well. He ran a small bit off the bend, but it's a very hot race, as good as any Derby final.
He wins it. World Class finishes well for second spot.
He came off sore off the race. At the second bend, he kind of pipped himself. I thought he kind of dipped a little bit, and he didn't show his pace down the back straight, but he came off very sore in his neck. But he'll be fine. He'll be perfect for the big race on Saturday night. He was crying out for the run now. He badly needed the run. Had kind of rushed his rushed him back for that race after he got injured in his back in the St. Ledger, and he's come back fine, and he badly needed the run he got the other night now, so that should bring him on to that. So he's fine, he'll be fine in the big net. And he's ideally drawn. If he comes out as good as he come out, he'll take all the beating. He's defending his title. He won the Champions Stakes last year, so hopefully he'll be the first dog to hold on to the title 2 years running.
So there you have it, the two qualifiers from the second semi-final. World Class, the champion from last year, is in 1, and in 4 are the Coffin Trap Disguise, 10-1 as we saw there, and that might be real good value for money in the final, which comes up very, very shortly. What about the third semi-final? Well, of course, the tragic news here is that Velvet Commander was brilliant in it, as you'll see in a moment, but unfortunately a wrist injury keeps him out. Nonetheless, have a look at this.
Here coming up behind the boxes. And away they go, and first to show is trap number 3, Velvet Commander, going well on the inside, number 1, Bower to Flight, on the wide outside, number 5, Gelder Up Such, but around the corner, it's Velvet Commander. He leads from number 5, Gelder Up Such, then comes trap number 4, Droopy's Cal, number 6, Smiling Man, now arriving in 3rd spot, but out front it's Velvet Commander. Gelder Up Such is closing, as is number 6, Smiling Man, into the 3rd bend. It's still number 3, Velvet Commander, who leads. Gelder Up Such, Smiling Man continues in 3rd, but Velvet Commander, he's won 3 from 3, can he make it 4 from 4? Up the home straight, it's Velvet Commander, here comes Smiling Man, coming to line, desperately close. Smiling Man, Velvet Commander, will leave that to the judge. The winning time, 30:03.
He came out in great shape. There's not a problem with him, and just he has an early pace problem, but he's very fast from the second bend. If he gets any kind of a good run, he could run well. I prefer trap 6. I think that the dog in trap 6 would be a little too quick out for him, and that he might get in his way early on, whereas if he was on the outside, he would get a clear run because there'd be nothing in his way. But races are races, and you never know how way they go. If he gets close at the second bend, it'll be very interesting. When I took him over first, I was a bit worried. He came over from England and he was very slow and getting into all kinds of trouble, but he'd have to sharpen up quite a bit, and he's doing well in really good races, so you never know.
Smiling Man there, drawn in 5, trained by Seamus Graham, and you heard Seamus there say honestly that he prefer to be outside in 6. Ian Fortune's back with me again. What's the latest news from the betting there, Ian?
Still Disguised. It's all about Disguised. Teddy Haggerty's telling me he's already laid 10,000 to 2, so 2,000 on the 5s. He also laid 2,000 on at 8 or at 4 to 1, so 8,000 to 2. And 1 or 2 of the other bookmakers are telling me huge money. Also a lot of money for the favourite, Tom Shea Boy, as expected. You know, he looks very well drawn. He's a 6 to 4 chance now, was 7 to 4. Smiling Man, a big drifter. Teddy Haggerty told me he's going to paint on the 6 to 1, and he's laid it to a few big bets as well. And he said if this one wins, he says it'll have to be carried out. But Smiling Man, still one of my choices as a big priced outsider.
It's an awful shame that Velvet Commander couldn't participate because of the wrist injury. Would you have given Velvet Commander a real chance?
Oh, a massive chance, a massive chance. A top class contender. He came back after a 9-month absence to win the semi-final. It really was fantastic how he did run so well. It's unfortunate.
It's a shame. It is unfortunate indeed, Ian. Right, they're ready for the parade at this stage. Just 5 in the parade for the Boys Sports Champions Stakes final. Michael will introduce it for us.
Yes, the final of the Boyle Sports Champions Stakes. A fantastic competition ever since the late Bobby Jack was the man who came up with the idea. It was a far-fetched idea at the time, but what a wonderful idea it was. So we'll all think of the late Bobby Jack here tonight. But anyhow, the 5 dogs on parade for this one. Number 3, as we say, Velvet Commander, the absentee. But all these 5 dogs in this final will be among the favourites for the Derby final itself in a matter of 6 weeks or so, 7 weeks. There we see number 1, World Class, owned by Philip Heffernan, trained by Pat Buckley, bred by John Marks and Anthony Dunleavy. World Class is son of Come On Ranger and Queen Survivor, an outsider when he won this event last year, but what a greyhound he has been. Won the Westside Waterford Masters, he won the Vodafone Grand Prix at Harold's Cross, he went over to Scotland, he was absolutely hot favourite for the Scottish Derby and was knocked over in the first bend. Powerful runner. He'll run a big race and won. In 2 is Kennel Companion, Never Give Up, owned by Padraig Heffernan, the man who got the dog as a present after having a heart bypass operation. Trained by Pat Buckley and Doon, the son of Spiral Nikita and Dal Cash Lament, bred by the same folk who bred number 1 World Class, the Shelbourne Stud in Nina. That's where it really is. Never Give Up won the St. Ledger. He won the Lifford Champion Stakes. He's an underestimated dog, and he's getting better, stronger and more convincing every time he runs. Number 2, Never Give Up. He got a flyer last week. Question is, can he lead his Kennel Companion to the bend? I have my doubts. Trap 3 is vacant, unfortunately. Velvet Commander out, so sympathies to the owners and the trainer, Fraser Black. In 4 is Disguise, owned, bred and trained by Reggie Roberts in Rathangan, the man for the big occasion. Disguise, the son of Larkill Joe and Newbridge girl, and what a dam she has been. This fellow won the Joe Dunn Memorial Puppy Stake here. He's a half-brother to the Tote Gold Cup winner, First Charter, who also reached the Derby final. Disguise, as Reggie says, would be better off on the inside, but he didn't move too badly on the outside down the back straight last week. He's a smashing dog, this fellow. He's won 7 of his 12 races, and he can do it from the front or from behind, and that's the sign of a champion. But if I could get down off the stand now, that's 6 to 1 that's on offer about this fella. At each way seems huge value. Smiling Man, owned by Neil Farrer from England, bred by Ian Greaves in Monaster Evan, and he's bred some champions in the last few years. Trained by Seamus Graham and Ballymoiler. Smiling Man is son of Jamela Prince and mixed top lass. He won the Vodafone Concours Cullen over 750 yards only a matter of weeks ago. Here he is over 550 yards, trying to do a Rita's Choice on it. This fella has as much gears. He flies from the second bend home. I expect a huge run from this fella. I can't see him being out of the frame. He won't be up there early, but by golly, he'll be steaming home. And in trap 6 in this one, the wily Pa Fitzgerald, the handler of this fellow, owned by Patsy Byrne. Tom Chevoy, the son of Rio Ricardo and Ballymac Peppies, bred in that great, well, dynasty of breeding down in Ballymacilligan in County Kerry. Liam Dowling bred this fellow, and Tom Chevoy, he's had his interruptions in training due to injuries and tonsillitis and dehydration, you name it, but he's a brilliant tracker. He won the Boyle Sports International at Dundalk in sensational fashion back on the 12th of July. Now, can he do the Boyle Sports double tonight? He won 25 grand then. He's chasing 40 grand this time. He's already one of the favourites for the Derby in a few weeks' time. He has a perfect position in 6. He breaks fast. He stays strongly. He's an absolutely all-round greyhound. He completes a tremendous lineup here for this Boyle Sports Champion Stakes final. Are we going to see history made with World Class perhaps becoming the first greyhound ever to successfully defend his Boyle Sports Champion Stakes? Well, that's a question. It doesn't happen too often nowadays, because in these days of high stud fees, dogs are usually, well, packed off to stud at the end of their second season. But the betting mighty interesting there with Tom Chevoy, strong favourite, but big support for number 4 Disguise. There we get another look at it. 6 to 4 favourite, number 6 Tom Chevoy. 4 to 1, number 4 Disguised. 9 to 2, number 2 Never Give Up. 5 to 1, number 1 World Class. And 6 to 1, number 5 Smiling Man. That's huge. How will the race go? Will Tom Chevoy get a flyer on the outside? Will World Class get a flyer up the inside? One thing I noticed about World Class last week, he broke fast, but he was tender on his bends, and Pat Buckley confirmed that this dog was sore after that race. Now, has he had sufficient time, a week, to get over that soreness? He definitely checked into the third bend last week when he was challenged on the outside. He's had a lot of problems. He's had some tough racing, and he got that terrible fall in the final of the Scottish Derby. That's number 1 World Class. Can he recover? Can he come out here at his superpowers tonight? If he does, he has the draw. He could take some beating. This is a mighty race. The dogs are now going up behind traps for this final of the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes. There we see Diarmuid Graham putting number 5 Smiling Man in traps. On the far side, Pat Buckley has decided to parade World Class, the dog bidding for history, the first dog perhaps to defend his championship. He makes sure that box 2 is open there for his other runner, Never Give Up. On the outside, the veteran Pa Fitzgerald, the man from Tralee, putting in Tom Chevoy. In 4 is Reggie Roberts, putting in Disguised. They're some of the best men in the game. They're great trainers all. They're great dogs all. Going into this final, the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes, a prize of €40,000 for the winner. So the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes final. In 1, World Class. 2 is Never Give Up. Trap 3 vacant. In 4, Disguised. 5 is Smiling Man, and 6 is Tom Chevoy. 4 Disguises into 7 to 2. Some of the dogs, one of them has crashed into the traps. They're away. That's number 6 Tom Chevoy at fast, but so is number 1 World Class. Racing to the bend. 1 World Class and 6 Tom Chevoy. Disguises in third. They're running around the corner. There's not much between them. It's 6 Tom Chevoy. Here comes 4 Disguise putting in a big run. But look at number 5 Smiling Man. Will he get a run? Disguise takes over down towards the third bend. Number 1 is well positioned, World Class. Then number 2 Never Give Up moves up. The challenge number 4 Disguise. Off the final bend, it's 4 Disguise, and here's number 2 Never Give Up. Coming up to the line is 4 Disguise, but Never Give Up, and Smiling Man. Oh, it's a mighty finish. I think maybe Never Give Up has just held on from the flying Smiling Man.
Oh, what a finish that was, but it looks as though Never Give Up has completed a remarkable travel. It's one for the judge. I won't preempt the decision. The time is 29.90, but surely we need to have another look at this one. Oh yes, a mighty race here. Let's have another look at this as number 6 Tom Shea Boy gets a flyer. One World Class out fast on the far side. The race towards the corner. 1 and 6 neck and neck. 4 Disguise putting in a big run in third. Then comes 2 Never Give Up and 5 Smiling Man is close. Onto the second bed with 6 Tom Shea Boy on the outside. 1 World Class on the inside. They're neck and neck. Never Give Up between them, and now Disguise number 4. He takes over at this stage. He looks the winner now as he moves ahead. 1 World Class battles back, but he checks again into the third bend. This dog has an injury. It's 4 Disguised in front. Now number 2 Never Give Up, producing that big finish. Watching behind, you'll suddenly see number 5 Smiling Man beginning to turn it on. Up the straight, 4 Disguised, 2 Never Give Up. Never Give Up just getting the better of Disguised here, and suddenly number 5 Smiling Man arrives, but I think it's a fraction too late. Yes, number 2 Never Give Up, looking at that picture, has done it. He keeps doing it on the big occasions. This dog owned by Padraig Heffernan and trained by Pat Buckley. We're waiting for the result to be made official. As you see now coming towards the line, Never Give Up on the far side. I think he has won it. Smiling Man flying home in second. And there you get the confirmation. Number 2 Never Give Up, winning by half a length from Smiling Man in second. Never Give Up at 4-1. Second, number 5 Smiling Man at 6-1. And third, number 4 Disguised at 7-2. The time 29.90. 29.90. Ignore that caption there. It's 29.90 is the winning time. And there we see Tracy down with Mike Buckley. So Tracy, over to you down there on your way back with the winner.
Well, I have Pat Buckley's father beside me here and the winning dog. My goodness, wasn't that a performance and a half?
He gave a great performance, he did. I was expecting he would. No, he's a great hearted little dog, and to me, he's the best little dog I ever come around our country anyway. He have everything.
Absolutely tough out. He's won the St. Leger, he's come and won the Champion Stakes. What's he going to do next?
Well, I suppose we'll have to go back to meet Padraig. He's on it, but I suppose he's probably going to Derby, so surely he'd go on the Derby, like, no.
It's a fantastic story. We're going to talk to Padraig in a minute, I'm sure, Padraig Heffernan, the owner. But
I'm delighted for him. Delighted for himself and Rita, they're lovely people, and you couldn't, no better crowd could have won.
And the kennels are flying, Mike. I mean,
they're going great, they are. We have a lot of good young dogs coming up now, and we have top hunches coming, which I think are great at the moment, and sure. Weeks long time in dogs, like quality.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Listen, enjoy it. Well done. Well done. Back to you, Ger.
Yeah, what a race. That really was one of the best races I think we've shown you in many a year, and Never Give Up, never gave up, and it was some victory, and certainly the Buckley kennels are really enjoying top form. They won it last year, of course, with World Class, and winning it again in 2004. We'll have the presentation of the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes to the connections very shortly. That's after the break. Back here at Shelbourne Park, it's celebration time for the connections of Never Give Up. Winner of the semi-final last Saturday, but more importantly tonight, he has won the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes, and they're having fun. Michael.
Yes, they're certainly having fun. Down in the presentation area, as we see Padraig Heffernan, the man who got this dog as a present after his heart bypass operation, receiving the trophy from my old colleague Paul McGee, who's now in the Boyle Sports camp. Paul worked with me for many, many years on the radio circuit every weekend, and there's Paul presenting the trophy to Padraig Heffernan from Adair in County Limerick. Mike Buckley is holding the plinth of the trophy on the left. The trainer himself, Pat Buckley, is out of the picture on the right. We see Carl Curley of the board in there behind Rita Heffernan, the wife of the winning owner, and of course there also is a certain lady called Tracey Piggot.
I'm here, all right, Michael. Thank you very much. And he never gave up, did he, this dog? And nor did the owner beside me, Padraig Heffernan. Absolutely fantastic. I know we spoke a couple of weeks ago, but can you believe now that he's gone and won the Champion Stakes? A marvellous performance.
A marvellous performance. Incredible. And I didn't think he could win it with all the great dogs that were in it, you know. And I thought maybe I had my enough fun when I won the St. Leger. I didn't want to feel too selfish or anything. But at the same time, to win this, I wouldn't say no to it.
Well, you zipped across here like a 2-year-old. I've never seen anyone get across here so quickly, and you've got all the family with you. It's a fantastic occasion.
They're all here, every one of them, and they're all treated for me and a lot of my friends and neighbours.
No, don't give up, exactly.
Hope is right, everyone.
And you're glowing with health again. I mean, what an amazing gift to get. I mean, you've got the gift of health and the gift of a super dog like this.
Yeah, to have a dog like that, it was a miracle.
Wonderful.
A miracle, I call it.
So great to see you again, especially here in the winners' enclosure. Well done. Well done.
Very much.
Fantastic. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Great to see them all. They're having a lot of fun. And why not? All of the connections there enjoying their evening. Why not indeed? €40,000 better off. Let's have a look at that race again now. When you watch the reprise of it, just consider where the dog in the blue jacket, the winner, who was number 2, was at the break, where the prominent dogs out of traps were 1 and 6. Have a look.
Some of the dogs, one of them has crashed into the traps. They're away. That's number 6, Tom Shelbourne, fast, but so is number 1, World Class. Racing to the bend, 1 World Class and 6 Tom Shelbourne. Disguises in third. They're running around the corner. There's not much between them. It's 6 Tom Shelbourne. Here comes 4 Disguise, putting in a big run. But look at number 5, Smiling Man. Will he get a run? Disguise takes over down towards the third bend. Number 1 is right position, World Class. Then number 2, Never Give Up, moves up. The challenge number 4, Disguise. Off the final bend, it's 4 Disguise, and here's number 2, Never Give Up. Coming up to the line is 4 Disguise, but Never Give Up. And Smiling Man. Oh, it's a mighty finish. I think maybe Never Give Up has just held on from the flying Smiling Man. Oh, what a finish that was, but it looks as though Never Give Up has completed a remarkable travel. It's one for the judge. I won't preempt the decision. The time is 29:90, but surely we need to have another look at this one.
Well, we had another look, and Michael got it absolutely right. It was the number 2 dog there, Never Give Up, the winner of the 2004 Classic. Well, I mentioned earlier on that Tracy has been busy out there, not alone meeting winners, but meeting lots and lots of people involved in the greyhound industry. I mentioned she'd been talking to a lady. The lady in question is, in fact, Kim Zanzone from the Lifford Racing Track, and here she is now talking with Tracy.
Lifford Greyhound Stadium opened its gates last September after 12 million refurbishment, and joining me now is Kim Zanzone, who is General Manager of Lifford Stadium. Kim, I believe we've got a great festival to look forward to.
We have. It starts on Thursday the 5th of August and finishes on Sunday the 8th of August, so a great 4 days.
Of course, we've just finished the Galway Festival at the Greyhound track there, 7 days of that, which was a huge success. I mean, it's really happening for greyhound racing here in Ireland, isn't it?
It is, and it's great to give people the opportunity to visit different venues, so it's nice to be able to move around from festival to festival, especially when it's new tracks opening up, which obviously Galway opened just after us.
Well, I know there's a lot going on the 4 days. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, it all starts on Thursday, and we've got our first ever greyhound sales, 136 dogs entered, all different grades and ages, so that should be a great start. Friday we've got our Anglo-Irish, the English team captained by Linda Jones, the Irish team is Paul Hennessy at the helm. Oh, it should be great fun. So 6 races there. Then we've also got 3 supporting races and a puppy final. And then the Saturday evening is the North West Ground Owners and Breeders Association sponsored night. There's also a lurcher race on that evening.
That's unusual.
Yeah, and then the Sunday evening is our Derby final, but we've also got the Championship Sprint featuring some of the top sprinters from England and Ireland. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Tim's Crow, which is the dog that we wanted, but we've got some great dogs in it. The Irish Sprinter of the year, Dalcash Black, I know he's looking forward to taking part with that dog.
Sounds absolutely fantastic. Now, you've been in the job for 6 months. How are you enjoying it?
I absolutely love it. I couldn't ever see myself going back to England now. I really, really have settled over here. The people have just been wonderful, very welcoming.
And you were where before?
I was at Romford Stadium for nearly 6 years.
But it's a great time really to be involved in the Irish greyhound industry because it's just on the up and up all the time, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the board have just put so much in, and I think that's what I like the most about Ireland is the support that you get and the backing you get from the board and Nagon. I think without it, it would have been a different sport altogether, but it really is evolving now.
Wonderful. Looking forward to the festival, Kim. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And good luck to Kim Zanzone there from the Lifford Racing Track, where there's lots of exciting racing coming up in the next couple of weeks. And there's lots of exciting racing, by the way, tomorrow night in Thurles, where the Tipperary Cup will be on. That's the big race there, and a full race card indeed, starting around about 8 o'clock tomorrow night there. Let's go back here at Shelbourne Park to another race we had earlier. This is the second race, over 5-2-5, and one of the favourite dogs here was in Trap 2. That's Frazzled. Let's see how he got on.
The First semi-final of the Boyle Sports 29-second stake. In 1, Hanema. 2 is Frazzled. 3, Clohogue Darky. 4, Smooth Criminal. In 5, Baby Hazel. And 6 is K-Tour. The favourite is number 2, Frazzled. Very impressive last week. The hare coming up behind the traps, and away they go. There's number 4 dives for the inside. There's number 5 Baby Hazel leads to the bend from 6K Tour in second. A bit of bumping on the corner, and it's number 5 Baby Hazel in front and in the back. And here comes number 2 Frazzle with this brilliant pace. Frazzle storming to the front, down the back straight, going on from number 5 Baby Hazel in second. K Tour is running on strongly in third. But this is about one greyhound. It's Frazzle, this daughter of Larkin Joe and Newbridge girl. She's storming clear up the straight. Number 2 Frazzle to win it. It's close for second with number 6 K-Tour finishing second and 5 Baby Hazel in third. The time a brilliant 28:57. Well, this was brilliant. Look at number 5 Baby Hazel with this fine early pace, leading here from 6K Tour going to the bend. 4 Smooth Criminal, a bit of bumping there, and suddenly number 2 Frazzle. She's running wide, but she's running fast. Moves into second place here on the second bend. It's still Baby Hazel out front. Diane Flanagan's bitch in front, but number 2 Frazzle is sizzling at this stage, storming to the front down the far side. Number 6 now K Tour back in third, putting in a run. There we see the favourite Frazzle, owned by Susan Roberts, trained by her father Reggie. No better man with a dog than Reg, and she's coming up the straight to win, and very impressively indeed. Number 2 Frazzle, a big race for second, with number 6 K Tour getting up to pip 5 Baby Hazel. There we see Frazzle again, this long striding bitch, the daughter, I say, of Larkin Joe and Newbridge girl, maintaining the tradition of the Roberts breeding. And the result of the Boyle Sports 29-second 5-5 first semi-final, the winner number 2 Frazzle, the 7-4 on favourite. Second number 6 K Tour at 5-1. Third number 5 Baby Hazel at 4-1. The time 28:57.
Well, that was the second race on the card. Let's have a check now on some of the other racing results here at Shelbourne Park tonight. And the 8 o'clock was won by Spectacular, 6-1. The 8:15, as you saw there, by Frazzle, 7-4 on. The 8:30, Smooth Leah, 6-1. Good night for the bookmakers. The 8:45 was won in fantastic fashion by Share Magic, 7-1. The 9:03 by Blackstone Woody, 8-1. The Consolation Stakes then, the 9:20, was won by Geldop's Touch, 5-2, and the big one, the Boyle Sports Champion Sports, 20-10, won by Never Give Up, 4-1. Well, it's been a good night's racing, and there's a lot more sport to look forward to over the next couple of days, and indeed right through into next week. Here's a reminder of what we've got on offer for you. The action starts tomorrow with the Sunday Game Live, featuring Roscommon versus Dublin and Tyrone against Laois in the 4th round of the qualifiers. We're on the air on 2 o'clock on RTE Network 2. Then later on, it's the Sunday game, which will have highlights of all the weekend's GAA action. Again, we're on RTE Network 2, starting at 9:30. And then later action from the British MotoGP, again on RTE Network 2, starting at 11:45, 11:45. And one other event to look forward to next week. It's a big week, of course, in show jumping. The Dublin Horse Show gets underway, and we'll have coverage for you next Friday. It's on RTE1, and our coverage commences at 1:25. Well, that's it for tonight from Shelbourne Park. It's been a fantastic night's racing. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for the company, and let's celebrate the connections and the magnificent dog who won the Boyle Sports Champion Stakes 2004, won in fantastic fashion by Never Give Up, who showed dogged determination all the way to the finish. Good night.